Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing UFC 160 right now, and we are joined by a returning guest, Nick Kalikas, professional MMA odds maker from MMAoddsbreaker.com. He is joining us via Skype, and our call-in guest is Adam Martin, also from MMAoddsbreaker.com. Thanks, guys, for being here. And we are now going to discuss James Huna and Glover Teixeira, and this is another interesting fight with a big favorite again. Teixeira minus 280, Huna plus 240, and Huna is, kind of a beast. He's a little bit reckless though. He can get caught, but he definitely seems like he'll be able to. He'll be willing to scrap with Teixeira at the very least. Adam Martin, what do you make of these lines?
Yeah, it's another interesting fight. I mean, just a really fantastic card in general, I'd say. I'm going to have to go with Glover Teixeira in this fight, though. I think that he is a better all-around mixed martial artist. He's shown in his first three UFC fights that he's a devastating finisher, and he didn't finish Rampage Jackson in his last fight, but he looked great over 3 rounds, and he outpointed him to decision. In James Huna's case, I mean, he's been very impressive as well. He's got very heavy hands. He showed in his last fight that he has a lot of heart too. I mean, he almost got knocked up by Ryan Jimmo, and he survived it and got the decision win by winning rounds 2 and 3. So I've been impressed with both these guys. As far as a straight bet on the money line goes, I'd probably pass. But the one bet I do like for this is the fight ends inside the distance, which is minus 150. I like this. I like that prop a lot, actually, Peter. I don't see the fight going 3 rounds. I think it's either Teixeira getting Huna to the ground and submitting him, or Huna knocking Teixeira out. I think that's the way the fight's going to go. I don't see going 3 rounds. I know that Huna, like I said, both these guys, the last fight did go 3 rounds, and I think that's why it's not higher than minus 150. I think it's a very fair price to pay for a finish either way. And I think that's the way I'm going to go. I think I'm going to make a straight bet on that prop.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, Huna is such a relentless attacker, which leaves him susceptible to getting hit by a bomb, which will definitely knock him out if that does happen. Nick Kalikas, where did you open this line?
It opened a little bit over 3-1, so again, another line that's kind of staying steady, staying ballpark. And it's another line that's a little bit more inflated than it should be, but all my lines basically have to do that because the betting public loves the favorites. They love to come in and, again, we say parlays and everything else. And not just that, but hype against these fighters. A lot of people believe that Glover Teixeira is the man possibly to dethrone John Jones, if there's a man to do it. I mean, that's hard to believe, period. But along the same lines of Machida and those guys, so they believe he's a legit contender to get the job done. So that kind of hype, you have to, consider when it comes into play. Now, James Huna is probably the toughest test. I mean, outside of Rampage Jackson, Rampage isn't, unfortunately, he's not the same fighter as he was obviously before. So taking that into consideration, I think James Huna is going to be the toughest test to date for Glover. I mean, it's a legit test. He's got a lot of power on the feet. His wrestling's legit. He's fairly well-rounded. But again, Adam made a great point with his submission game and Glover's submission game and his takedowns and being a little bit more well-rounded. I think Glover could probably look to take this fight to the floor. And once he does have it on the floor, he probably will get the submission. I think if any flaws in Tehuna's game, it could be that. But if it stays on the feet, it's going to be really interesting because Huna definitely has a puncher's chance here as well.
So then, Nick, who are you going to need in this fight? Are you going to need Teixeira?
Well, hopefully we're going to be pretty close because this is another fight that you don't want to stake your neck out too far on, because Tehuna's one of these guys that I've kind of personally underestimated a little bit. He's better than I thought. I mean, he just keeps on improving with time. His cardio is improving. He's just getting that confidence, and he believes in himself. So in a situation like this, they match up pretty good. You don't want it to have a big decision, but hopefully we will need Glover slightly to come through here because I do think he's probably the better fighter and he should get the win as well. But I agree with both of you guys. I think inside the distance is another play here. Adam mentioned it's around minus 150. I don't really see this fight going 3 rounds. It's possible, I mean, because both these guys are talented enough and hard to stop. But I think there's just way too much offense in this fight to really go 3 rounds. So I think there's going to be a finish somewhere in between.
Yeah, I think you're onto something, Adam Martin. Inside the distance, one of the better bets that we found here on the main card. Thanks.